Our devotion today is from Isaiah chapter 14. Before we look at it, I want to remind you today to be in prayer for Steve and Diane Fenton. So, in today's chapter, similar to Pastor Mike's devotion from yesterday, Isaiah is looking forward to the time when God is going to draw Israel back together as a people. But we do get the idea that some of this is still future prophecy even for us, because it's talking about the time that Israel is going to be able to come together in peace. Peace amongst themselves, peace with God, peace with other nations. It talks about how even other nations are going to come together, gather with them, and serve them. And so I think we're looking at, a time that is forward. We're looking at the time when God brings peace for all of us through Jesus Christ. And much of the prophecy in chapter 14. Well, it talks about this major event that's going to happen when God brings this peace, and it's going to be the judgment of the nation of Babylon. Now, we're reading at, God is using the nation of Babylon. He talks about that in the previous chapter, how God is judging his people with the nation of Babylon. But there is going to come a time when God judges Babylon themselves. They are an evil nation. Just because God is using them as his tool here of judgment doesn't mean God approves of them. They are a nation under a wicked king for sure. And it talks about this wicked king and how God is going to judge them at a future time. We think about this wicked king. It says that he sort of thinks that he is God, or he wants to be God, and how he sets himself up. Sort of sounds like somebody we know, right? This kind of reminds us of Satan. And I think there is some symbolism going on here when we think about the nation of Babylon being judged. Well, God did that. God brought about their judgment through the Medes and the Persians, just like he said he was going to do. But when we also read, other prophecies, we look at the book of Revelation, it talks about this nation of Babylon like it's something of the future. Maybe it's a literal nation that is going to come back again, resurgence. But it's this wicked nation, just like it was at this time. This wicked nation led by a wicked king that is leading the world into sin. And God is going to bring about its judgment, which is what he's talking about here. And that is going to bring about this final peace. And so I think we see this prophecy. I love reading this stuff because you get the idea when you're reading it that you're reading about these secrets of God, that you're not going to understand everything that he's talking about. But God has his plans, and his plans are going to be fulfilled. In the same way that God brought about the judgment of Babylon and its wicked king who thought he was God in that time period, in the Old Testament, God is going to bring about the judgment of Babylon again. He's going to judge the wickedness, all the wickedness in the world. And this nation of Babylon, that's sort of leading the world in wickedness, it is going to be judged at the second coming of Christ. And the wicked king, I don't know this for sure, but it seems for sure that it's talking about Satan here, who is going to face judgment. And it says this incredible statement that you are going to taunt the wicked king. And it's talking about Israel here. Once he's brought low, this man who seems so imposing and so threatening to you now, he's coming and he's bringing this war, and he's so wicked and he thinks he's a god. He seems like a big dog now, but I'm going to show you the true nature of him. I'm going to bring him down low. He's going to be so low that you're going to taunt him. He's going to be like a joke to you. He's going to be no threat whatsoever. And I believe that looks forward to us at the time when we think about our enemy Satan, who wants our destruction. God's going to judge him. He's going to face judgment. He's going to be brought low. He's going to be nothing more than a joke. He's going to be done for. He talks about how he's not going to be buried properly. He's going to go down to the pit, and we know Satan is going to be cast into the pit of despair. I am thankful for this passage today because it just reminds me that God is in control. His plans will come about. And no matter what circumstances we are in today, we know that The victory is His. I'm thankful for this passage today. If God spoke something to you out of it, leave us a message on YouTube and on Facebook. God bless you guys, and thank you so much for